Race Day Extra, Aussie Racing Cars, Winton Motor Raceway. You put all three together and you go to get some action. This is race 3 in round 3 of the FW1 Aussie Racing Cars Super Series. Sheridan Phillips will start from pole. This grid, a reverse top 10. So look for the fast guys to move their way through the pack. And the cars just keep on coming. There are so many in the Aussie races. There's Sheridan Phillips. He's on pole. Darren Massini alongside. Row 2, Darren Chamberlain, who we saw in the sand yesterday. He's managed to recover through the course of the weekend. He's on the second row with Trent Young. Watch for Kyle Clues and Peter Carr. They're the only drivers to have won races this year. Between them, they've won 10 from 10. They'll start from positions 9 and 10. Green flag at the back. Get set, get ready. The pocket rockets are away. Well, not all of them. It's a little bit of a slow start in the middle of the pack. Sheridan Phillips has made a storming start to turn 1. But look at them all skating into one another, and there's heavy contact on a wet road.
And all that crunching and banging you can hear in the background is pretty heavy contact. The first thought bubble that I had when the cars left the line is just how much grip is out there, and I can see the answer. Not much, and there's plenty of contact and there's plenty of crunched cars. Glenn McNamara's involved there. He's not the only one as well. It's so greasy out there at the moment. We jump on board. We'll be riding in car with Tyler Owen and Barton Moore. That's Dave Sayre off to the right in the monster car, and Owen straight up the inside. You have to be very delicate with this through the sweeper. Tyres are cold, the cars flick sideways very, very easily if you load up the tyre too much and squeeze too much of that throttle. This is Kyle Clues. We saw a lot of action from him yesterday now. The field is about to be advised, I think, of a safety car. You can see the Petters safety car being deployed right near our commentary boxes. The key runners are all at turn 9, so they'll bring the field under control and neutralise the field.
And that means they can remove some of these stricken cars, because there was just a really, really brief, almost like a sun shower that just came through just before this race started as the cars left the paddock to head out onto the track. This is a replay of the start. Now watch this drama up in front. There's a bowling ball that goes right through the middle here. Oh! And that was Darren Massini who got collected in car 74.
That's a massive hit.
Here it is again. Tyler Owen comes from a long way back, never going to make it.
No, he was referencing the sort of braking expectation and grip that he had the day before for today. You just can't do that. You've got to be able to try and read what's underneath you on the day. So that was very heavy contact.
And then further back in the pack, there was a little bit more drama going on. Here it is again.
And at that point, everybody else was tippy-toeing and actually making line. They were kind of getting themselves organised. They were slipping and sliding, but they were going to scramble through. But I think your description was the best one. It was a bowling ball through the middle, Aaron.
And that was McNamara, who was around. Barton Moore is running position 9. Safety car here at Winton Moore of the Aussie Racing Cars when we come back. Back at Winton, and well, this is the weather radar. The blue dot is where we are. The blue stuff is rain, and it is sort of lurking around, and it could mix up the V8 Supercars this afternoon. We've had the odd little sprinkle in this Aussie racing car race, which we've got covered on the mega wall. This is Barton Moore. He sits in position 9.
And it's worth contemplating what the implications of that image that we saw a moment ago are for the V8 Supercars coming up later on today. Likely to be a very different animal to the race we saw yesterday.
It'll be very, very interesting. Restart. It's double file in Aussie racing car, so it's very much like American-style racing. So Sheridan Phillips leads us away. Grant Ludby and Kyle Clues in that orange and blue car. Remember that he started on the 5th row of the grid. He's up to position 3. We'll make it 4 now.
And now that everybody's had a chance to sight the racetrack, get a bit better feel for it, you notice much better behaviour down at turn 1. On board again with Tyler. That was an amazing demonstration of just how slippery it is, trying to climb the hill, rotate and turn the car, get power to the road. Of course, once you break traction, it's a disaster. You really got to ease out of the throttle and find the bite point again and just ease the car, try and push the traction, but not push it through to the point of wheel spin.
And remember too, they run on not a slick racing tyre, it's a Bit of a compromise, Yokohama. Oh, that sun's not too nice either.
Well, I mean, even where we are at the moment, Aaron, in the commentary box, quite weird. Some parts of the sky at the moment are as black as the ace of spades. Other parts, there's clear blue sky. When you've got water on the Perspex screens in these cars, and you saw the evidence of it at turn 5, you just can't see where you're going at the moment. Very awkward. So Phillips is the leader, and sector splits are very good.
And that's Paul Kamal there, who's just trying to edge his way through. He's up to 11th, started 19th. This is FW1 replay from the restart, where it's quite busy. They didn't quite make it all through. We did better than last time, though.
What you've got to be super careful of with these cars in these conditions is really you need to avoid all painted lines and all curbing. Drive the car as straight as you dare. They don't react well to hopping over the curbs and going to these low grip corners on two wheels, or sliding across the paint. That's a bit of a disaster until it dries up. Here's Clues again.
This is the third spot. Got it. Adrian Cottrell just right in behind, and then Peter Carr, who we saw win yesterday. He's a winning machine this year. He's won 7 from 10. He's outdone Whincup even for race wins per starts this year, which is quite an achievement, but he's got a bit of work to do in this one.
It's quite a bit wetter at this end of the circuit as well. So up towards turn 3 there, you can actually see spray coming off the tyres. And Phillips is continuing to march here. Last lap was a 146.1. Pretty tiny margin, though.
And, of course, that's quite a big drop-off from the sort of speeds in the dry yesterday. They were running 1 minute 32, so that goes to show you just how the track condition is different today.
Tyler Owen's doing very quick sector splits as well. Look at that sky. That's up towards the northeast, sort of looking towards Wangaratta, Aubrey, and up towards the high country around here. It's pretty wild over there at the moment.
This is on board with Barton Moore. He's 7th, having a guest run this weekend. He's got a lot of experience in a range of cars, both here in Australia and overseas as well. And a lot of times that drivers with good records and pedigrees jump into this series, but it's a very different style and a different type of racing.
Well, as I said and alluded to this a moment ago, you've got to drive the cars particularly straight. Not a lot of adjustability with the things that you can play with, which means you concentrate on what you're doing. This is Rick Kelly watching all the action from a ringside seat up on the pit wall there. A lot of the cars reflect the livery of the cars that we see in V8 Supercar. It's a little tube frame car, about 450 kilos or trouble down here at turn 1 again. Gee, it's hard to pick the braking down there at the moment, I'd suggest.
And that's Trent Young, who goes out through the scenery and trying to get back on and cover the line for turn 3, but Cottrell's through, Clues is through, Peter Carr's lined up, Grant Ludby's next. Fastest man on the road's Tyler Owen, 142.49.
12th at the moment, Tyler.
Remember that he was the one who
clean bowled it.
He was the bowling ball down the alleyway at turn 1. Carr on the outside. But Sheridan Phillips has got a nice little buffer here. 2 seconds is very, very handy, while the rest of these guys really get stuck into the scrap.
Paul Kamal showing some fast sector splits too. He's down in 9th. We spoke about him yesterday. Vastly experienced and had great success in the Aussie Racing Cars for a long period of time. It's in the VIP car, the black car.
And I think Barton Moore, just if you look behind the FW1 car, that red machine, the left door was just flapping open. We won't be able to get another shot of that shortly, but that'd have to be more of a distraction than anything else. This is Clues and Carr, the dominant men in Aussie Racing Cars this season. They're 3rd and 4th, and they're starting the chase of Sheridan Phillips and Adrian Cottrell. It's great to watch Clues at work. He really throws this thing around.
See, the 2 guys that have been the class of the field in the recent past, that example at turn 12 was a good one. They just kissed the apex at turn 12 without actually clobbering the curb, and they ran all the way to the edge of the road coming off the corner without getting on the curb. And that's the sort of stuff that you've got to do. You've got to drive the car to its absolute limit and margin, but not over it, particularly in these conditions. Cottrell just in front. Nice job yesterday.
And here's Kamal, fastest man on the road, a 140.9 last time around in that black VIP Pet Foods car. He's starting to really creep his way through, but it's his teammate, Sheridan Phillips, who leads. There's Button Moore now. This door just flapped open before, but it may have closed.
We've got a little rubber retainer on them, and typically also put a bit of race tape on there just to make sure that if there's any contact, they don't flick open. But
oh, there you go.
Yeah, there's the rubber. In fact, little retainers. There's 2 of them on there. So it's flicked open for whatever reason. Hopefully it's not going to end up triggering a mechanical black flag.
He's running position 6. This is Tyler Owen. He's a few further back. Position 12 in front. Maurice Massini making a lunge on Richard Fricker.
See left foot braking. And a little blip it was.
This is tight.
Don't worry about the braking at the moment. Worry about what's going on out through the screen. We're on the run down to turn 11. He's positioning his foot over the left foot braking here into it. Oh, I can't take my eyes off the action down the inside. I want to talk about what's going on inside the car, but there's too much going on outside it. I'll spit it out eventually. The point I was going to make is you drive them like go-karts, Aaron. So you both feet busy, using your left foot to pull it up, blip the throttle on the downshift. No need to use the clutch other than to launch the car.
And this is a change of the lead. Cottrell is through on Phillips. So the South Aussie hits the lead, and Cluzes now starting to put some pressure on. 6 laps to run.
Martin's actually just punched out a pretty handy number there, 140.07. Best on ground at the moment, position 5. There's nothing really like them in any other category of motorsport. We tried to get that out a little bit earlier as well, but there's too much going on. So it takes a bit of getting accustomed to these cars. These 2 guys that are on screen have done the best job in the recent past. They're very good in these cars. They're getting the most out of them.
And they're on the move too. So Peter Carr is through to 3rd. Adrian Cottrell has the lead, and he is building a buffer. Race 3, the Aussie Racing Cars. We'll go to the checkered flag on Race Day Extra in just a few moments. Well, this is a fight. No, actually, it's not a fight. It's a fight and a half. This is good stuff. With the Aussie Racing Cars, Adrian Cottrell leads the way. Don't forget, later in the day, race 11 in the V8 Supercars Championship. The chase for Jamie Whincup will continue, but the chase for a checkered flag here is really, really going for it. Adrian Cottrell leads, Peter Carr 2nd, Paul Kamal is 3rd, which you might think, well, that's pretty standard. He's a former champion. He started from 19th, and he's done it in 6.5 laps.
Done a really nice job. Been watching his progress through the field.
There's Bart Moore still with that door that won't stay closed. But any time that you pass the reigning champ, you must be going quickly.
He's making a better fist of it today. He had a run in these cars a long time ago. This is back the previous lap at turn 5. And this is Barton in the battle with Kyle Cluze. He's obviously a lot more comfortable today. Spent a bit more time on the racetrack, a bit more time in the car. Maybe tweaked it just a little to his liking.
This Maurice Massini trying to launch a move on Trent Young for position 7. The top 10 covered by just 7 seconds.
The track's a couple of seconds quicker than it was at the start now, so they're in the 38s, and Adrian Cottrell, the leader, the fastest on the ground at the moment, 138.3. It's Tyler Owen. He was involved in that bump and grind down at turn 1 off the start. He's got so far up to 10th.
There was a bit of damage too. A few front spoilers that have been rubbed up. There's a few rear bumpers that are half hanging off. And this is the move up the inside on Ludby. Position 9, got it. And there's the damage on Tyler Owen's car from that.
It got away with that pretty well when you consider it was on board. It was a very big thump, so the fact that the car's still performing reasonably well is testament to how strong they are at the front.
And the car that he hit, Darren Massini, fell all the way back to the back. He's got back up to 18th, which is a really good fight back too.
Now we need to keep an eye on Paul Kamal in 3rd position at the 2nd timing intermediate, fastest again. So this march from 19th that you spoke about is impressive. So he's got Peter Carr well and truly in the gun sights on the run down to turn 1. He'll have a dive. Oh, problem here. Meantime, was there a change for 2nd place? Was line ball as that? Yes, he got him.
And he'll continue the chase and the charge. Shane Howard will not. He's come to a smoky end and will bail out of that car.
That's a great run from Kamal to do that job from where he is.
And it's not done with.
Yeah.
There's Howard on the exit.
In yesterday's call, that one of the beauties of the cars that you can really park them up under the guy in front and get a genuine slipstream benefit, and that's exactly what Paul did on the run out of turn 12 into 1 that time. Got a couple of extra revs parked under the back. Remember, the cars have got the Bathurst Aero kit on them, so they're a little more downforce than they normally run. They ran at Mount Panorama several weeks ago. I wasn't up there, but apparently it was another cracker race. The car's pretty wild up there.
Speaking from experience too.
Speaking from experience, but it was a great experience. So here we go. Adrian Cottrell's got a margin, 2 seconds. I've seen that a couple of times this year where the leader's been able to bolt, but this is a fantastic battle between Paul Kamal, Peter Carr, Kyle Clues, a whole bunch of them. Sheridan Phillips is in there. This is one of these classic Aussie racing car battles where they start to play the 3-wide game.
And Massini will be the one who wins out because he's on the inside. Let's keep an eye on the margin. Can Kamal hunt down Cottrell? The gap was 2 seconds last time around. It's 1.3 with 2 to run. He could do this. Look at the bumps. Love how early they're on the throttle. The run out of the S's, here's a chance.
Nice run out of turn 2.
Trent Young's up in front.
It's slippery here, though. This has been the slippriest spot on the racetrack. Oh, big push, big understeer in the mid-corner. You might have another crack down here. When you see a gap like that, the temptation is to try and jam your nose in there. But the problem is the guy in front is just going to close that margin and squeeze you.
Now this is the next chance. Penrite corner up the inside. Not close enough. Young doing a very good job, and in fact, Cottrell is hanging on. Here he is, but the margin is closing. There is Kamal, and in fact, we're on the last lap, so this one has been shortened by a lap. So if Kamal's going to do it, he's got to do it now.
Peter Carr's flying as well. So as the track improves at the back end of this race, the margin, first, second and third, it continues to tighten. I don't know that there's going to be enough time or space available, but Kamal's going to push every inch. Oh, he can't pull it up at 11.
And that will let Cottrell off the hook. So the stranglehold of this series of Carr and Clues is going to be broken. And Adrian Cottrell is going to hang on. Great drive. He dragged his way through from 7th on the grid and picks up race 3. Kamal 2nd from 19. Carr is 3rd. The series leaders hanging on strong. Buttonmore 4th. Kyle Clues in 5th. Good race all round. Simon Smith, who was involved in that first lap tangle, he managed to get his way back to 11th, and Grant Ludby continues to rack up the points in the Masters Cup. That's the Aussie Racing Cars. As always, a good one. Plenty more ahead, though, at Winton. The V8 Supercars on 7.